This is the news at 2000 hours from GRTS in Banjul with me, Fatoumata Sisay, and coming up, a 3-day cabinet retreat organized by the UNDP, the UN Economic Commission for Africa and the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel comes to an end this afternoon. And experts from the 15 ECOWAS states meet in Banjul to evaluate and adopt a draft plan of action seeking to eradicate statelessness in the sub-region. And a pro-EU centrist Emmanuel Macron wins French presidency by decisive margin over far-right Marine Le Pen. And freedom at last, the latest group of abducted Chibok girls to be released by Boko Haram militants arrives in the Nigerian capital Abuja. All these plus other stories will come up in just a moment. Do stay tuned. Now, a 3-day cabinet retreat organized by the UNDP, the UN Economic Commission for Africa, and the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel wrapped up this afternoon at the Sheraton Hotel. The convergence, described by the organizers as very successful, recommits cabinet ministers to collectively dedicate and focus on the task of national transformation.
Finally gathered for the closing ceremony of the retreat, which from now on is expected to enable these cabinet ministers better manage the affairs of state. 3 days of deliberations and discussions under the guidance of UN experts focused on a wide range of topics touching on the economy, governance and structural reforms of state institutions. This, as contained in a final document, will make government accountable and responsive to the needs of the public.
We pledge to perform our duties guided by the following principles: probity, accountability and transparency, inclusivity, justice and rule of law, effective civil service delivery, patriotic altruism, togetherness, resort to legal means for dispute resolution, pragmatism, openness to new ideas and criticism, detribalization, modesty in lifestyle, and collaboration with regional, continental and international stakeholders.
According to the Minister of Information and Communications Infrastructure, Demba Ali Jawo, who is also the government spokesman, this maiden retreat is highly significant for a number of reasons.
The cabinet ministers have learned quite a lot, and we are definitely it is going to help us in the way we're going to run the government from hands-on, because we've got these experts and they came up with very good strategies which is going to help all the ministers in their day-to-day execution of their work, as well as to make the government very people-friendly, because it has shown on how to interact with the people, and we've got this citizen interaction and getting the people on board in everything that we are going to do.
The launch of such a convergence by the executive branch of government will generate a lot of attention, not least amongst an expectant public, which is keen to see government action to tackle the challenges facing the country. However, Gambians will be looking forward to concrete outcomes, which ministers have agreed to speedily undertake. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS News.
And also experts from the 15 ECOWAS member countries are meeting in Banjul to evaluate and adopt the draft plan of action to eradicate statelessness in the sub-region. This said document, which follows an agreement signed by member countries in Ivory Coast 2 years ago on the subject matter, is expected to be presented before ECOWAS ministers on Tuesday. As we hear in this report by Echin Silva, the program was officially opened by Interior Minister Mai Ahmed Fati.
Well, this can be a very decisive move concerning the problem of statelessness in the sub-region to history.
Today, we are here to take concrete action by validating this regional action plan in order to achieve the target of the declaration in eradication of statelessness by 2024. The strategic objective developed in the action plan for deliberation and validation are free movement of stateless persons, integration and protection.
Already a report has been published by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees indicating a staggering 10 million stateless people around the globe, out of which 60% are children. The West African sub-region too has a fair share of the burden, hosting 1 million stateless people, and a good chunk of that number are children. To put an end to this problem, a declaration was signed in the Ivorian capital of Abidjan in 2015, and this plan of action will be a follow-up to that.
It will go beyond the Abidjan Declaration because the measures will be more detailed, more concrete, and we hope they will be also legally binding.
Gambia, as a case study, has ratified all the necessary conventions needed to integrate stateless people. Chapter 3 of its constitution has made the acquisition of citizenship rather easy compared to other countries. Government recently embarked on the nationwide sensitization of the populace on statelessness, urging them to regularize their status. The new administration has, since its assumption of the state of affairs, adopted a holistic approach to promote inclusion and not exclusion or marginalization of stateless people.
We made a decision that inclusion shall be the mantra of our governance, which is embedded in our national anthem. When we talk about justice, which is the cornerstone of our national pledge, we mean justice to all.
Nonetheless, officials of the UNHCR are calling on them to do more. This is so due to concerns of the presence of a good number of undocumented people on the home front, out of which many are said to be stateless. This, they say, can pose a serious threat to peace and security.
A person who is stateless does not have a stake and will be very vulnerable to the vagaries that they face. And therefore, it would not be far-fetched for us to say that statelessness could lead to instability and could become a source and a root cause of displacement.
Statelessness occurs when a person is not legally documented or considered as a national by any statute under the operation of its law of the state he or she lives. The cause can be many, but key among them are conflicts and/or migration. Efforts to end this centuries-old problem have been streamlined time and again, but this latest meeting of experts is expected to produce a tangible document that would be presented to ministers representing the 15 ECOWAS states this Tuesday for their perusal. Trent Silver, GRTS News.
And let's take a look at Qcell, where the company under the Q Group has launched its newest technological innovation, 4G LTE mobile internet service at the Independence Stadium in Bakau. And this latest development by Qcell is to provide customers with reliable, strong and fast internet connections throughout the country. The event was graced by dignitaries, staff of Qcell and customers. Our Saidu Kamara was there and he tells us more.
Qcell's newest product, 4G LTE, stands for long-term evaluation. It is designed to provide reliable, strong and fast internet services to its customers. The Chief Executive Officer, Qcell, Mohamed Jam, spoke on the importance of the 4G LTE, saying it is a milestone in their drive to contribute to national development with specific focus on telecommunication technology and the financial sector.
Today, Qcell Sunibos is launching the latest phase of telecommunication revolution that is sweeping Gambia and will transform all our lives. The fourth generation mobile, otherwise known as the 4G LTE, to provide the highest bandwidth speeds on your mobile device. Once again, we are at the cutting edge of technology, and I am very pleased that Qcell has been able to deliver this technology so quickly, and again, the first time to bring it to the Gambia as innovators.
The General Manager of Health Technology Companies, JOS, commended Qcell for their efforts in providing such an innovative service to their customers with strong and fast internet connections.
For Huawei, we have been in Gambia since 2005 and more than 10 years now. All these years we have tried our best to improve the quality of the network of Gambia. We help Qcell to build the network and we grow up together. And we see how they reach here. And I have to say, all of you, the staff of Qcell, You are doing a really great job here.
Solo Sima of Pura said their institution was proud to be part of what he described as an important event in continuation of their technological journey with Qcell. He recognized Qcell as the first operator to launch the 4G LTE in moving the Gambia to a new level.
This achievement is a source of pride for the regulator, and I'm sure the entire ICT fraternity in the Gambia in particular and the country as a whole. We hope to see in the not too distant future other competitors of Qcell to follow suit, and this is all geared towards the authorities' continued drive and vision to bridge the technological gap and feed the continually growing need for quality and speed demands by the Gambian consumers.
The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure, Lamin Kamara, said his ministry over the years developed policies and launched initiatives for business and entrepreneurs to participate fully in their quest to mainstream the economic into the digital world.
For developing nations such as ours, where access to fixed broadband connections are limited, 4G LTE will bring super high-speed connectivity for many for the first time, thus enabling them to join the global information superhighway. Businesses, especially in entertainment, media and e-commerce, will benefit hugely from the faster and more reliable mobile data services, improving efficiency and productivity.
With 4G LTE service, Qcell customers are assured of a more reliable, super fast and strong mobile internet connections. Saidu Kamara, GRTS News.
And let's take a look at this story where I quote, "I am optimistic about the future of the new Gambia." And those are the words of Esa Bokar C, a prominent name in the struggle against the former government. Mr. C was speaking in an interview with GRTS following his return to the Gambia after 15 years in exile in the United States. Here's an excerpt.
The trajectory I'm seeing now is very good because, number one, the humility I have observed. Everybody knows me. I am independent. If I had seen something here that I believe is not what I want to consume, I would have come to TV and speak my mind, because I'm not scared. I mean, the thing is, the humility I'm seeing from the current president is a good product for him.
What type of future do you see for this country?
The future I see for this country is Gambia could be a digital country, and that's what I'm fighting. I mean, this Security Day is a very powerful organization that invited me, and they nominated me for certain positions. And that in itself, because when I came, by virtue of the job I've been doing and my current job, I mean, observation and derivation of facts is what guides me. Even if you observe my videos and you see that sometimes I say things, maybe somebody may even think that I was not. There are certain videos, some people will say, oh, I was not too hot with the former government. I said, I didn't see anything. In fact, I don't take derived pleasure out of criticizing the former government, because I wish from Sir Dawda to Jammeh, from Jammeh to Barrow, we will have successive governments that will just continue developing. So that being the case, I think Gambia can be a digital country. If you drive, you go to towards Tanje. The landscape you see there, you bring landscapers in the Gambia today. It could be one of the destinations for golfers. We can bring international golfers here. The trajectory I'm seeing now is very good.
And that was Esa Bokar C, a prominent name in the struggle against the former government, speaking there to Babukar Senghor. And the border communities of Dasilame and Tuba Tranquil Saturday held what they called a peace-building meeting, and the gathering discussed a range of issues needed to strengthen ties between Dasilame, part of which lies in the Gambia, and Tranquil in the Casamas region. Kumbaba has more on that meeting, funded by the ASPID project, an NGO in Casamas, and Casa Gambia Cross-Border Association.
The Casa Gambia Cross-Border Association has committed itself to strengthening ties between Dasilame, part of which is in the Gambia, and Tuba Tranquil in Senegal. This association continues to engage communities and their leaders in ventures to promote understanding between the Gambia and Casamance. The meeting, which mainly focused on peace building, sought to unite the two countries in key areas of trade, security and socio-economic activities.
Today is historic as we redouble our efforts towards the realization of our dreams on the free movement of people, goods and services, and the maintenance of peace, stability, solidarity between border communities. Today we are united and committed than ever before in the promotion of culture and the preservation of our beautiful environment.
I will appeal to the authorities to consider them, and then I will join hands with them to fight for this conflict to be finished. As we know that tranquil children are going to school at Daslame too are coming here to school. So it seems like they are just like brothers and sisters.
The mayor of Kataba in Casamance, Abdoulaye Badji, stated that such an initiative will help to promote peace and integration in the sub-region. Paul Abib Sanyang is the president of ASAP Project, an NGO operating in Jululu, Casamance. The objective of their project is to build healthy relationships across border communities with focus on women and local authorities. For the women, this platform will help to build a friendly and united society, in addition to enhancing the free movement of people, goods and services.
Like we need to work together. When we work together as Dasilame and Tubat are working, and I think the security here, they definitely happen to understand what they are working into. And I think the security will be very happy to support them so as they can reach the market.
The event was also characterized by the exhibition of natural resources and a cultural performance. Under the new dispensation in the Gambia, organizers of this event are confident of cementing more fruitful ties between the two neighboring villages for future generations to come. Reporting for GRT's News, I am Kumbaba.
And almost a week after this year's Workers' Day, the organizers of the event Saturday staged a banquet where the performance of several institutions and individuals were rewarded through the presentation of awards. And as we hear in this report by Modulamin Sane, workers in the Gambia are now looking forward to better working conditions and improved pay in the wake of this is May Day.
Following a successful celebration of the International Workers' Day through sports, participants of the Mass May Day sports gathered for the traditional banquet. This special occasion, staged in honor of the Workers' Day, availed the diners from different institutions an avenue to informally discuss issues affecting them.
Which shows the growth, the interest that the May Day sports has got and the impact it has on everyone that is present here tonight. We in the Gambia should try and continue to protect the May Day sports, because the Gambia is the only country in the world, that organizes May Day sports, celebrates May Day sports the way they do now.
There were speeches too during the night, all geared towards creating a better workforce for the Gambia.
In the morning, we get together with the unions and we present our petitions and our resolutions to government. And in the afternoon, we all get together as one family and socialize in sports.
At the banquet, several individuals and companies were recognized for their outstanding performance at the Independence Stadium.
We are proud as the Gambia Armed Forces to win the May Day sport. There is no small competition. For the Gambia Armed Forces, we never take anything light or small. In any competition we go in with full force.
Award after award, their efforts did not go unnoticed by the organizers.
Yeah, we are delighted because, there is nothing that we can do. But I think the whole program was not well organized in some way. But then the issue is, it isn't about winning all the time. I think the most important thing is workers coming together and being able to address issues that had been prevailing for the past year. If there are recommendations for me to make right now, they would have been they have to seat all the security sector in one group to make sure other institutions and parastatals would have the opportunity, like GRTS, to win.
After a spectacular May Day almost a week ago, workers in the Gambia can only look forward to operating under improved conditions. For GRTS Sports, this is Modlamin Sane.
And that takes us to a break, but coming up next is the international stories. Do stay tuned.
Hey, Lee. Hey, you look tense. What's up?
I can't help it.
Held on the 9th and 10th May 2017 at Senegambia Beach Hotel. The investment forum is geared towards creating a platform for investors, domestic and international, to network and explore areas of collaboration and potential investment in the Gambia's agricultural sector. This forum is open to domestic and international institutional investors, fund managers, investment banks, asset and wealth managers, rates agribusiness-related firms, farm owners and operators, agriculture tech companies, and any person or institution interested in investing in the Gambia. For further information on registration, contact info@gaipa.gm or call 796-115 or 998-6445.
Welcome back, and we'll take you to France now, where Marine Le Pen has told her supporters she called Emmanuel Macron to congratulate him. Exit estimates from key national TV channel, BFM TV, puts Macron in a commanding lead. World leaders have begun congratulating the new president. And for more on that developing story, we turn to this report by CNN's chief international correspondent, Christina Mampour.
Thousands and thousands of people still streaming into this place, and as you can hear probably and see behind me, wherever on the screens, there is a singer and everybody's jumping up and down and a loud noise. France has its youngest president since Napoleon. France also has chosen between two diametrically opposed views of the world. Macron, the centrist, the outward-looking, the tolerant, the pro-European, has won convincingly over Marine Le Pen, the far-right nationalist National Front leader who was looking inwards, who ran on an anti-immigration platform, who ran on turning inwards, pulling out of NATO, having a referendum to pull out of the EU. So as such, we see now European leaders have already started congratulating Macron from Belgium, from Germany, from the EU, and also President Hollande, the outgoing president, has obviously called to congratulate, and indeed so did Marine Le Pen. But if you very focus on what you just played from her concession speech, she is still calling this and framing it in a divisive manner. She's called it a conflict between the patriots and the liberals. And what Macron's people are not going to do, they tell me, is allow her to hold on to the patriot label. And guess who I have here for an exclusive interview? Laurence Aim. Bonjour.
And let's take you to Nigeria now, where the latest group of abducted Chibok girls to be released by Boko Haram militants has arrived in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. The more than 80 girls in captivity since 2014 were expected to be received by the Nigerian president. A Nigerian government official has been quoted as saying 5 Boko Haram commanders were released to secure the release of the Chibok girls. CGTN's Tulisha Balala has the details.
This is the group of girls released by Boko Haram after being kidnapped 3 years ago in the town of Chibok in northern Nigeria. The girls arrived at Abuja airport and were driven away in a military convoy. They were found near the border town of Banki in Borno State, near Cameroon's territory. Nigeria says it secured the release of these 82 girls in exchange for Boko Haram prisoners. Switzerland and the International Committee of the Red Cross helped secure their release after lengthy negotiations with the militant group.
We transported the girls, but we did not do the medical checkup. That's going to be the next thing that will follow. However, I can safely say they have waited for this day very long, and they will need a lot of support from their families and from the communities to reintegrate into the society again.
The girls were welcomed by the Nigerian president's chief of staff.
Welcome our girls, welcome our sisters. We're happy to have you back. We are very glad that you are back, and every Nigerian today must be forgetting every other hardship is suffering, because it is a very joyous moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Around 276 girls were kidnapped in April 2014 by the militant group. Around 57 managed to escape, but more than 200 had remained missing for more than 2 years. Now that they are finally home, they can breathe a sigh of relief and look forward to reconnecting with their families and rebuilding their lives. Tulisha Balala, CGTN.
And that takes us to another break, but the news continues right after. Don't go away.
Assalamu alaikum Gambia, send dom la bay babu borom.
From the Central Forecast Office. First, the summary of today's weather. We experience very cloudy and relatively cool. And to the satellite image, which indicates current weather conditions in Africa, convective clouds over part of Gulf of Guinea and Central Africa, causing lightning, thunderstorm, and raining activities over those affected areas. Tonight, relatively cool and relatively cloudy conditions will prevail over the western sector and warm over the inland. Whilst tomorrow, fairly cool and partly cloudy are expected to prevail over the western sector and mild with breezy conditions over the inland, becoming warm and sunny thereafter. Surface wind flow will vary between westerly over the coastal areas and southwesterly over the inland, with speed ranging from 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures expected across the country will be 20 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul area and North Bank, 21 over West Coast and Lower River, 22 over Central and 23 over Upper River region. For the maximum temperatures, it is expected to be 33 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul area, 40 over West Coast and Lower River, 41 over North Bank and Central, and 42 over Upper River region. For the Mara report, low tide will be 0.3 meters at 3 a.m. and at 3 p.m. High tide will be 1.5 meters at 9 a.m. and 1.6 meters at 9 p.m. Waves height will be 1 to 2 meters, northerly swells. The sun is expected to rise at 42 in the morning and set at 19:23 in the evening. That's all we have for the forecast. Thanks for the pleasure of your company, and do have a blessed evening.
And the weather report there by Binti Jaite wraps up this edition of the news. But before we go, I recap the top stories once again. A 3-day cabinet retreat organized by the UNDP, the UN Economic Commission for Africa, and the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel has come to an end this afternoon. And experts from the 15 ECOWAS states are meeting in Banjul to evaluate and adopt a draft plan of action seeking to eradicate statelessness in the sub-region. And Emmanuel Macron has won French presidency by a decisive margin over a far-right leader, Marine Le Pen. And freedom at last, the latest group of abducted Chibok girls to be released by Boko Haram militants has arrived in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. Well, that was all in this edition of the 8 p.m. news with me, Fatima Sisai. Thank you for joining us and keep watching here at TS.